Almost got caught. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Mic'd up with Gus. My favorite guest, Andrew Pesina,
The
back for
Patrice
part.
O'Neal to your Opie and Anthony,
Is that
basically.
what that is?
You don't know Patrice O'Neal?
Oh, yeah. Patrice, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, he was always on their show, and he was always like the funniest one on that show. The funny one on that show, I thought.
I wore my fake Versace shirt for you.
Again?
Again, well, we didn't get to really rock it the first time.
Yeah, you did. I
No,
think you
that
did.
that one didn't go through.
Okay, well. Oh yeah, then. Anyway, how's it going,
Hey,
buddy? As I enjoy
I'm wearing my fake Versace shirt for you.
drinking my Mexican Coke for you.
Is that how you're getting fat? You gotta stop drinking that stuff,
It's
buddy.
one of many ways.
You had a great breakfast, I heard.
Sausage biscuits and hash browns for McDonald's, baby.
That's a great breakfast.
It
Let me
is.
tell you the
Orange
reason
juice?
you had orange juice with it.
Fuck yeah. You know I fucking did, bro. It's the
Listen,
only way to do McDonald's breakfast, along with hotcakes and sausage.
so when me and my brother used to run a strip club up in Miramar, it was called Taboo. He was the bartender. I was one of the lower managers, and then there was a another dude named D, big ass fucking black dude. Fucking love that guy. He whooped somebody's ass one time. That's how I got the job. Anyway, we used to
Whoop somebody's ass.
our club used to be open like super early on weekends, like 8, 9 in the morning and shit. And all three of us would get sausage, biscuits, gravy, and hash browns, and just sit because we had this little fucking like a deli right next to us, and they would do the breakfast gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And we go over there and just like, oh man, we just fucking sit there and just grub. And then we had this one 60-year-old lady. I swear her name was Anne. Her name was Anne. She was our day lady, bro. She was like 60 years old. She straight looked like not like your typical grandma, but if she were to walk by you, you'd be like, you got kids. You know what I mean? Like you give away shit on Christmas that costs a quarter, shit like that.
Mm.
But Ann was our ride or die, bro, at the fucking strip club with them biscuits and gravy and hash browns. So when you brought that up, I was like, yeah, I remember them. I remember those days. Them shits is good.
I,
Andrew
li-
Tina, go
I
ahead.
like it when the biscuits on the sausage biscuits are usually soft. I like that. Soft and fluffy.
You're a soft and fluffy guy. I know
Fuck
you
you.
are.
I'm
I know
still
you are.
a size XL, so I'm not that fat.
You're an XL?
Yeah.
That's kind of big for your height.
I'm like 5'8". But I also got wide shoulders, bro. I can't help it. My dad made me do a lot of push-ups when I was a kid because he wanted me to do football.
Oh, he had you on that Herschel Walker plan?
Bro, he fucking
Yeah,
made me do a lot of push-ups because he was like, you gotta get big and you're not like ever since then I've always had like wide shoulders, even when I was like at my skinniest, like fucking 80 pounds ago or so. But like fucking he would always make me do that shit. And then like when I was like 11, 12, he my uncle Nicho came up from San Diego because he was selling his house. And he was gonna live in his motorhome, traveling around because he was a Marine. And I don't know if you know that fucking little naval fucking area.
Oh
Not
yeah,
naval
San
area,
Diego.
but the naval fucking RV park where where it's placed for like Navy and
In
I
San
guess
Diego.
military people. Yeah, it's around Mission Bay area, I guess.
Oh yeah. Okay, I
So
didn't know that was it
I
strictly
guess
military.
I don't know. There's maybe one spot that was strictly
I
military
know
family,
exactly what you're talking about
and
then.
they would like have camp out spots for people with
Yeah,
RVs, and I guess he was living there for a bit. So
life.
yeah, his house in San Diego was fucking beautiful. He lived in like a fucking military community because he retired and all that shit. And ended up there
That
at
sounds like Point Loma.
2-story. No, it's Chula Vista.
Oh shit. Okay.
2-story house, beautiful neighborhood, pool and shit. But yeah, I remember fucking he had an exercise room, and my dad he got his Weeder Pro weightlifting set, and my dad was always making me lift and shit. But I was getting like thick as a kid, but I also
Did
ate
you hit the Bowflex or what?
not the Bowflex, just like a Weeder Pro, just standard fucking pulley system. And I fucking discovered bacon double cheeseburgers
Oof.
and then
That's a wrap.
I lifted a lot, so I got mass. It's like I'm not like if a dude like took off his shirt and he's all lumpy and like everything fell out. It's like I still have some definition.
You're like
Like
that. You're that luchador size. You got that
sort, yeah, I'm
that
pretty
lucha
much like
build.
I got a thick lucha build,
Yeah.
but like
We know the build.
but if you saw my jujitsu videos, you would see how small I would get, dude. And that
Mm.
was like not even before I would do hard weight cuts.
Oh, see, I used to be like a little bit smaller and cutter, and then when I moved to TJ and started eating tacos and shit, bro, at the crash, that's all they had upstairs, bro. You just go upstairs and this dude is like, "How many tacos do you want?" So it was like,
Bro,
bro, tacos galore. I used to get
what's the
fat.
lowest you've ever weighed in your life, like as an adult?
As an adult,
Yeah.
I'll show you pictures. Everyone said I looked like I was 200, 210, and I was still 280.
Mm, that
Actually,
was your
the smallest
lowest?
I've been though, the smallest like weight size was actually like 267 was my smallest. But I was like fucking running every day, 5 miles a day and shit, and then tacos.
I got down to like 129 for a weight cut, a test weight cut.
Jesus.
That was when I was like training all the time for
Yeah.
an MMA career. And it's like I was like I'm like 5'7", 5'8" on a good day.
What
So
weight limit is, or what wait, yeah, what is that?
I was gonna
Class are
try.
you?
I wanted to do 125 flyweight and 135
Oh,
bantam weights because like all the dudes who are like 145 like fucking tower over me. So it was like,
oh yeah. You don't want that. You
and
don't
like
want that length.
when I was doing jujitsu competitions and I was doing like weight divisions that were like 150 to 165 and shit, or like 155 to 165, 170, all the dudes were fucking way bigger than me. And it's like I didn't have a problem with that, like, because I was good. It's just that
That was good, Nick.
I was good. It's just that I had to fucking modify a lot of the fucking style I did in competition just to fucking do all that shit. But when I was usually the bigger guy, it was so much more fun just to fucking maul on dudes and shit.
Bro, I feel the same way because okay, so check this out. Me and my dad used to go do open competitions and shit, right? We did Huntington Beach. We went to fucking Temecula. Like we were all like the little Southern California tour, basically.
Mhm.
Um, I kid you not. The only time I lost in a open sparring, I guess you want to call it open sparring is what they called it. But
Smoker.
smoker.
That's what they usually call under the table fights.
No, these were like tournaments.
Yeah, smokers, and they have tournaments too. Smokers turn like smokers could be like fights or tournaments. It's not.
Oh,
It's just that. It's just not. It's just not like one of those like promotional event things. You
it
know, where
was.
it's no. Like I'm talking
I
about
think I'm
like
saying it right. I
talking.
think I'm saying it wrong.
I'm talking about like one ring and like people pay tickets to go see it and there's a crowd. But
Yeah,
are you talking about like where there's multiple mats and shit going on and
multiple
multiple
mats were
matches?
okay. Like when we
Yeah,
went to our tournaments, there was multiple mats going on. Bro, we were in the Huntington Beach Mall, and they set
yeah.
that shit up in the '90s.
I
Like,
know what you're talking about. So it's basically okay.
yeah. So we went to like all those little open tournaments and shit.
Yeah.
So
And you lost to one person.
in my hometown in San Diego. So my dad comes up to me because the adults went first. He comes up and is like, look, he takes first for open and form. And me, I cared about form a little bit because it's like you want to carry two trophies and shit. It's like, well, let me at least get third, you know. I didn't place anything in form in San Diego. So my dad comes up with the trophies. So in San Diego, I don't place nothing in form, right? In my division, it was another kid from my school, and me and him looked at each other and said, "Look, if we make it, it's me and you, bro." Like, and I remember telling him, like we do in class, man. Good luck. And we really thought it was gonna be us too. So we piled through everyone. I get to a kid named his name was fucking Dragon. I swear on my daughter's life, his name was Dragon.
I can
That
already tell where this story's going.
that was his fucking name was. That's how they announced him was
The
Dragon.
fact that you're remember this, I can tell, is
so
amazing.
So I was cocky, bro, because I was taller than him, I was bigger than him, and I was fast. Boom. So we sit back. Andrew, to this day, I couldn't tell you. All I remember is he said, back. I'm all, huh? 3 points. And he points at this dude, and I was like, what? And my dad looks at me, he goes, put your hands up. Put your hands up. And I'm like,
Oh man.
so I'm like, oh shit, okay. Like, and then all of a sudden I start feeling woozy in my head. I'm like, um, okay. Like, pow, this motherfucker just like roundhouse me into the face, bro. And I went straight down to my knees. I went straight to my knees, and I'm not gonna lie. I think I was like 13 at the time,
Mm.
12 or 13 at the time. I went straight down, and he came over and he goes, "Are you good?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Can you stand?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I stood, and I didn't open my eyes because I just felt my eyes just watering the fuck up, you know.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
not
want
just
to. I don't want to know
water. I
that.
could just feel it, right? So he fucking puts his arm up, and I feel the shift of like I'll never forget the emotions, bro. Because he was holding my hand super tight, and he like when he raised his arm, he like shifted my body, and that's when I looked a little bit, and then boom, all the tears came out, and I just like
Oh.
I went and I sat, and I just was on my knees, and I remember him walking by and him staring right down at me, and I was like, what the fuck happened? So after everything had happened, he goes up there, my boy gets in with him, same thing, beats the shit, like that was it. Dragon wins. I take third. I had to go up there and get my trophy. And then I come back to my dad and shit. And I was like, what happened? He goes, you, it was so fast. And I'm like, what happened? He said, he just came up and just jumped, and he did a jump roundhouse.
Mm.
And he said, when he did it, you saw it coming and you looked up
Oh
and you just
fuck.
took all of it. And the kick, I guess, just went straight through, which just kept me still. You know what I mean? It didn't knock me down, but I don't remember that. I don't
Mm.
like I just like lost it for those couple of seconds or whatever. But he's like, yeah, he came up and just jump roundhouse kicked you. And then when the second one came, he just came up and just roundhouse you because he knew you had you, and you went straight down. And I was like, fuck. Like I don't remember none of that shit. And
Damn.
it happened in front of my school. It happened in front of my sensei. It happened in front of my dad, my mom, my fuck my mom, but it happened in front of like in my people, and I was like, fuck, bro. And that was the same round of tournaments that we had just came from. Oh shit, what's the desert area over there? East of you guys, what's it called?
There's San
Oh,
Bernardino.
oh,
There's Riverside. There's
where,
Imperial Valley.
where the Bucks did their shows at? Like,
Asperia. No. Yeah, Asperia.
oh,
Antelope
never.
Valley, High Desert.
I'm sorry, I can't remember. It was fuck.
Damn, you got fucked up that bad you can't remember.
No, that was in San Diego. Now I'm just saying the same tournaments, line of tournaments. We did one in the desert, and the kid from Three Ninjas
Upland.
was there, and we were talking shit to him. And I told him, I said, "Hey, me and you, it was lit. Hey, due to the Three Ninjas, if you ever see this, because I hope one day you'll see this, because a lot of people might see this shit one day. The main dude, the older brother in the first Three Ninjas was at our tournament, like signing autographs and shaking hands, and of course, like the same age group kids were like, "Fuck this dude," and I was that guy saying it out loud, and I told him, I said, "Hey, are you in the tournament?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Good," and he just stared at me. He's like, "Am I good?" I said, "Cause I am," and he just like, so Three Ninja dude, remember that desert tournament in California? That was me, bro. I won't fight you now because I don't know where you're at in life,
He would
but
fuck you up.
if
Even
I
if he was
put,
just an actor, he would fuck you up.
I don't know where he does now, but I know when I was 13, bro, man, I would have came at your fucking ass so tough, bro.
Bro, I remember when I did like my second tournament, right?
Uh
There
huh.
was it was at some gym in Van Nuys, and I remember like there was this one dude, like because it was in a martial arts gym, and they had a wrestling ring in it. You know, I guess they wanted to use it for boxing and shit, but it was a wrestling ring with 3 ropes and shit. I actually do have video of this match on YouTube, but what you want me to get it?
Keep talking. Keep talking.
I'll get it. So I'll get it and I'll talk. So before the tournament began, like I was like warming up on the mat where we were gonna have our division was gonna be doing our rolls and shit. And I look over to the heavy bag area of the gym. This fucking dude was doing fucking spin kicks and shit on the heavy bags, and I was like, holy fucking shit, dude! This is just
Yo.
my second tournament, and I got fucking this dude over here
Spin kicking
doing
and shit.
fucking wheel kicks and fucking 360 tornado kicks. I'm like, holy fucking shit, man. It's just a small local tournament, bro. And I was going into that tournament with a fucked up shoulder and with a cracked rib too.
Oh,
And I didn't I like this was like just random come whoever comes, and whoever's in the weight class, blah 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 will match you up randomly. I faced this one dude who trained under Dean Lister and I got the win over
oh
him.
shit.
And then the second round I faced that dude who I forgot what he did to the guy he faced. Um, but he won. It was a submission only tournament. And I'm about to send it to you right now. I just found it.
Oh, your
Let me just
fight?
yeah. Now let me just say this. I'm not like I'm not I don't I'm not really good in this fucking tournament. One, because I was fucking really fucking I wasn't feeling good. I was injured and shit. And two, like I hadn't developed my grappling game fully yet.
Oh,
You
don't start
know,
making excuses now, bro.
I'm just saying. I
Just because
listen.
the
Just
I won.
watch. Just watch. Just watch. All right. I'm not
Hang
saying.
on, hang on.
I'm
I have
just
to type
saying.
all this shit in.
No, you
All right,
don't.
hang on. Yes, I do. Hang
You
on.
can't just. Okay, whatever. I don't know. I don't
Hang
know.
on.
But
Andrew
anyway, yeah. This
gets
dude.
beat up.
This dude intimidated the shit out of me, bro. And this was like my second tournament. Like my first one was crazy. My first one was really funny, but you got it.
Oh, is this you? Oh shit. All right. This is brought to you by Andrew. Are you getting beat up?
Yeah.
Are you?
No.
Oh, I wish my mom would have recorded more. She didn't.
Well, this was when I was in my 20s and they had iPad touch screens by then. So,
Yeah, I didn't have that.
and someone was filming for me. See, there's a wrestling ring right there.
Oh shit.
Turn down the
Stay low.
volume.
Turn it up.
Turn it down.
Oh,
Like not completely, but yeah, I was so green at this point. Like I knew my submissions, but I was also like I had a little bit of technique, but it wasn't fully developed. My
this is your
passing.
second match.
This is my second match of the day, the finals of the tournament. Like I was not good at passing, and this guy was also really strong. Like he was fucking countering everything I was doing, and I didn't know what I was doing at this point.
Hmm.
Because it's like, because this year I should have fucking let go. This was stupid on my part, but I
10th
was
planet, yo.
Burbank. That was just the color they had. Shitty attempt at guard
Shout
passing.
out to Manolo Hernandez, 10th planet down here in San Diego. Get better soon, my brother.
Is he all right?
Uh, if you see on his fucking thing, he has a neck infusion.
Oh shit! I think I got that too. Anyway, uh, shout out to him. Hope he recovers soon.
He's up and running. He's just
Okay.
not, he still has to recover fully. So,
Yeah.
but he's up and running.
So this entire time I can't I'm focusing on trying to hear my coach's instructions, trying to negate this guy's shit. And meanwhile, my right shoulder, which you see right there, is really fucked up. And my rib is also cracked. Like from previous injuries. Here I don't know why I fucking tried to go for mission control when I did not have the fucking position.
Tickle him, bro. Tickle him.
I tried to hold on to the single leg, but he had my other arm. So he really knew how to fucking prevent me from being able to get a takedown. Oh yeah, I used to be called Guida because I used to remind him of Clay Guida.
Oh shit, I used to love that dude.
Yeah, because like before, like my first tournament, I had longer hair, and
Oh,
when I was like in MMA classes, I was always going like Guida and like just fucking being wild like him and shit. So they call me Guida.
we're gonna look up. We're gonna watch some highlights of him.
We can't because we're gonna get copyright by
Eh,
UFC. I'd want to.
we could watch some highlights.
We'll get, dude. We're gonna get a copyright strike. I don't. But yeah, this was deep. This dude really had me right here. I got so lucky. We had
Did
the
you
break.
touch that man's penis?
I don't know. Did
Backhanded.
I?
I think you backhanded his penis a little bit.
Did I?
I think so.
Oh well.
That's what you know. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get into wrestling, and not because of the penis touching.
Because you're a homophobe.
No, because one time, like, I went to practice, like, to actually do rolls and shit for like some little jujitsu shit before wrestling in high school, because someone invited me to say, "Hey, have you ever tried jujitsu?" And I was like, "No, I would like to." And dude nut shotted me, and that was it for me. And I'm like,
Mm.
"Yeah, I don't think I'll do wrestling."
This year I was. I should have let go. Well, actually, yeah, I should have let go. Like right. Yeah, my passing game was so bad.
And just to let you know, guys, this is a no strike tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No striking, no slamming. Which I'm glad I brought that up because right here
yeah. Because I
I
was
had to
gonna
hold this
say,
guy.
there's probably people out there. Why didn't he fucking hit him? Because it's a no strike tournament. Ours was a strike. Mine was a strike tournament where I had to wear headgear, hand
I
pads,
I was so
faces.
glad that guy slipped off right there, dude. Because I was just like, oh fuck. I was worried I was going to accidentally slam him. This was the shittiest mat to compete on too.
By the way, mine was ATA. Mine was the American Taekwondo Association. Those are the terms we used to go do.
Okay.
I was a sidekick machine, bro. I used to sidekick the fuck out of you.
I was really good at head kicks when I was doing Muay Thai training.
I was good at head kicks. I was good at a reverse side kick, a reverse high side kick. I was really good at that. It was just something I liked. I just learned because one of my homies did it all the time, and I was like, bro, your reverse side kick is like you get the dude's head. He's like, yeah, let me show you, and I'm like, fuck yeah.
So that guy in the hat right there is my coach, or was my coach Jared Carlston. He's just all on the mat and shit. He's the best coach. He's currently now the owner of 10th Planet Burbank.
Yeah.
Great dude. If you want to do jujitsu and you're in the Valley area, LA area, go check him out. Tell him I sent you. They also got
Them
Muay Thai
toes.
classes. If you got kids, they got kids classes too. Tell your kids to learn how to fight and
Same
let them
thing. Hit
get some
Manolo
confidence.
Hernandez. Manolo Hernandez.
Yeah,
Same programs down here in
Fight
Southern
Academy in
San Diego.
Pasadena too. Fight Academy in Pasadena as well. But yeah, this part, this dude was just fucking getting the better of me. And at this point, I was in so much fucking pain, especially right there where I'm posting up on my hurt shoulder, and boom, he gets me in a deep triangle.
Ooh.
And right here, I try and fucking like reach out and like grab something. It looks like I try and tap like right about here. I accidentally let go of my grip because I was trying to grab my leg to do something, but he countered that. I was trying to like move my right leg over his head just to defend it. This could have been so dangerous for me. He could have turned that into an armbar, but I knew the defense for it. Just
Oh, he had your arm.
yeah, he had it, dude. And thankfully, it wasn't my bad arm. Like he had me deep twice, dude. Like he had me on the verge of tapping twice, but I was like, nah, dude, I can't. I got to keep going. I don't feel anything close to breaking. I don't feel like I'm gonna die, so got to keep going. This part, I was just trying to fucking get him off me and get free. I don't know what I was going for at this point. I ended up getting my senses trying to go for a Kimura wrist lock. I was fucking up there because I was using my thumb to get a grip of it like that instead of going like that, you know? I was going like that when I should have gone like that. This guy was really strong too.
When's the Joe Rogan moment?
So I did not get his arm on the triangle, which is essential for the choke and the technique. But I did this thing called the gag reflex, where you shove your arm or shove your fist into their artery while you have the choke right there, and then you pull their head down. You'll see it in a second. Right there. That's the gag reflex.
Good job, Andrew.
Thank you. But yeah, that dude scared the shit out of me before that when he was doing those fucking tornado kicks and all that. I was like, holy fucking shit, man. Like, can you calm down a little bit?
Slow down,
Like,
man.
bro, we're at this small tournament. There's no one watching. We're just here, to try and win a medal. We're not here to kill anybody.
So obviously you watch UFC and all that. Who's your favorite fighter right now that's out?
Right now, I
Like,
do like, what's up?
are you a favorite fighter type guy? Like, do you follow people or you just watch it?
Man, I've become so casual. Like, I'll watch MMA all the time, but it's also like, it's gotten to a point where the UFC runs all the time and they're not building up any new stars, and the stars I'm familiar with just aren't what they used to be. And it's like, fuck. Alex Pereira, the guy who fucking won this past Saturday night, is fucking dope. I like Israel Adesanya. He's fun to watch as well. I'm not a Sean Strickland guy, not a Colby Covington guy. But it's also like, man, like, there's good fighters and all that shit, but
Yeah.
UFC just sucks at marketing them and all that shit. Like
I mean, remember, the Iceman days and like Tito
like
Ortiz days. Those were fun days.
even like, to me, like, what I felt like was the best MMA promotion of all time was World Extreme Cage Fighting, WEC.
Oh, bro, with
Uriah Faber,
what was his name? The horse dude. What was his name?
horse dude,
Fuck, I forget his name. Yeah, WEC was fucking.
Donald Cerrone.
No, here, I have to look it up. Can we
Horse.
look up? Can we look up WEC?
They're owned by UFC too.
I think.
Bro, they have a stranglehold on everything, man. But
Do they?
anyway, WEC was fun because they always had the lighter weight classes, and those guys would always fucking put on shows, man. Like, to me, like, everyone could talk about Pride. Yeah, Pride was a fun spectacle. But at the same time, if we're talking about just pure MMA,
Right. Oh, bro, WEC would like. I remember when it first came on. I remember the when they were first. I saw Uriah Faber just out there throwing bangers with this other dude. I'm like, bro, how much do they like? I wasn't clowning, but I was like, how big are they? Because they look small, and I was like, damn, these are the smaller dudes. They be just going hard.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. It was right around the time of Manny Pacquiao, right around the time of fucking Floyd Mayweather's rise in boxing and shit. When everyone was realized, oh man, lighter weight class fighters are so much more fun to watch than a lot of these heavyweight guys. Because yeah, there was some like fun heavyweight fights, but at the same time, it was like a lot of these dudes were just sloppy and just throwing fucking heavy hands. It's like a random dude like fucking Brock Lesnar can come in and instantly contend for the world title, But if he was but if he was at like 155, it's like he would have gone through hell, dude, or 170 or 185. There's no way he would have fucking survived against Anderson Silva if he was like Anderson Silva's size and shit. Like, the biggest reason why Brock Lesnar succeeded was because of his size, and he was in a time where it's like Randy Couture was like, I think he was like what, in his 40s by the time he fought Lesnar. And then like a lot of the guys weren't involved as fighters. He was supposed to face. Did he ever face? No, he didn't face Shane Carwin, did he?
Who?
Brock Lesnar.
No.
So he didn't really get tested until he fought Cain Velasquez. and we all saw what happened there. And then he fucking got tested again against Alistair Overeem again. Yeah, I know post diverticulitis, but at the same time, it's like that don't mean shit when it comes to technique. And Alistair Overeem pieced him up. You know, yeah, he did get that win over fucking Mark Hunt at when he made his comeback in 2015,
Mark
2016.
Hunt was a beast in his prime,
But
bro.
Mark Hunt was a kickboxer. He wasn't a grappler, you
From the
know?
island, bro.
And on top of that, Brock tested positive for a substance. So it's like he
Oh yeah.
wasn't that great of a fighter. If he came around now, he wouldn't fucking, I don't think he would fucking get past, you know, the top 10 in the UFC heavyweight rankings these days. But I could be wrong, you know? Um, yeah.
Who's your favorite? Okay, so I'll break down brands. Who's your favorite UFC fighter of all time?
This is a tough one. Um,
Who's your favorite Pride fighter then?
Shogun.
I knew you had one right away.
I would say Shogun too for UFC because he had some fun ones. Like I saw him fight fucking what was it called? I think it was Brandon Vera at UFC on Fox 4 at Staples Center. And
He was at San Diego.
Lyoto Machida versus Ryan Bader
Leota,
was the
bro.
co-main. And what's funny about that fight was I was sitting up at 300 levels, right? And if you know Lyoto Machida, you know that he's a counter fighter. He's not going to be
Bro, I was just gonna say he's like
he's a
fucking
karate guy. So
yeah.
he's not going to be striking first. He's not going to be throwing
Mhm.
hands first,
He sits back,
you know?
waits.
So it's second round. The fight's not really fucking, you know, it's not that fucking, you know, fan friendly. It wasn't full. It wasn't full of high volume punches and strikes, you know.
Right.
But it was a good display of martial arts. So I'm sitting up there. I think it was like section 302 or some shit, all the way up there. And this dude behind me, like as like Ryan Bader was coming forward on Machida, he goes, "Throw a punch, you Brazilian," and then he said a homophobic slur. You know, very brave to do from the 300 section. You know, and this was 2012, I should say, which is why no one really said anything. But then again, it's UFC. You know, I'm sure they're still saying those words. Anyway, right as the dude said that, Ryan Bader came charging in. Machida threw a cross and knocked his ass out. And the guy, his friends around him were like, shh, you dumbass, dude. You dumbass.
Jinxed
No,
him.
yeah, they said you dumbass because he fucking didn't, not because of the homophobic thing he said, but
Right.
because of fucking because the guy he was trying to heckle won. So yeah,
Can I have some cashews while we do this?
I don't care. It's your fucking podcast. I'm just the one carrying the fucking workload.
Exactly. That's what a good manager does, bro. Don't you know?
You should have eaten those when I was telling my story, so I could have gotten my drink of water in.
I'm sorry. This is all new to me apparently. Anyway,
Well, hopefully certain hosts don't act this way with you.
doo-doo-ts.
If you know, you know.
You know. There's a
Oh, you,
handful of you.
I don't know. I'm just saying stupid shit.
um. So you say Shogun was your favorite fighter. Obviously, You said Uriah
Back on
Faber's
the
name first. So was that Uriah
WC,
Faber?
I would say, yeah, most likely you're right. For UFC, I realized, I guess Demetrius Johnson, my favorite. Also, like, fuck, I forgot. Oh, I was a big Joe Lozon fan too. I always thought he put on some really great fights. I also saw him fight at that UFC on Fox card. I think it was against Jamie Varner, and they put on a really fun scrap. Jamie Varner was a fun fighter to watch too. Back in the day, Jens Pulver was also really
Oh
fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'm a huge Pulver fan. I like that dude.
dude, Jose Aldo was a fucking beast in
He was
his
there, huh?
fucking day. He was a savage, man. He was just, dude. He fucking tore up Uriah Faber's leg for 5 rounds in front of Uriah's hometown. He had one of those fucking Gus moments.
Every fucking dude. because they're in the
Arco Arena.
yeah, but the guys on the cans were talking about like, oh, his school is watching this or some shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I remember.
it was the first ever WEC pay per view, but it
Mm,
because they were owned by UFC they couldn't like market it as like they couldn't market it as like fucking WEC, so they marketed it as Aldo versus Faber or some shit.
ah,
And it wasn't the first time he Uriah Faber headlined the show at that arena. Like there was like if you go on YouTube, which I don't think we should do because I don't want us to get copyright stricken. But if you go look up Uriah Faber walkouts on fucking YouTube from WEC, goddamn, like those were electric, dude.
those were
Oh, actually, Nate Diaz, UFC all time fave,
yeah.
him and Nick.
I think I think Diaz brothers up there on my list of like top five, definitely. Like
Mm.
I just put them together. You know what I mean? No disrespect to either one of them, but it's like I'll even go like Nick and Nate then Nick. You know what I mean? Because Nate did come first, and I was a huge Nate Diaz fan. Huge Nate Diaz fan.
Nick was first for me because I didn't watch the Ultimate Fighter. I wasn't a fan of it. Um,
Mm.
and I did watch like Elite XC, and I did like see some Nick Diaz stuff like before I saw Nate on the Ultimate Fighter and shit finale. So Nick was first for me.
Man, I remember what, dude. I honestly remember watching all the first UFCs and shit, and then like I call my brother. My brother Rob, he hit me up one day. He's like, "Hey man, are you watching this UFC shit?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, it's like WWE now." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "They're coming down the ramp. They got music. They got lights. They got all this fun stuff down." And I was like, I remember that transition when they like went to all the fun stuff, like with doing that shit. Like, man, Tank Abbott used to be one of my favorite fucking fighters. I
Mhm.
swear, Tank Abbott used to be one of my favorite guys.
You know, when I look back on those old days, it's like, man, they're like more fun to watch, but it's also like that they're just not as good as today's athletes. And maybe some people will argue that's what made it more fun because there was just like a
The
lot.
average Joe.
Yeah, there was just so much to it and shit. Like you just didn't know what was gonna happen.
But at the
Where
same time, though, like it started off with Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock, two of the greatest fighters on this planet. So it's like it didn't start off too light, but there was a lot of.
I mean, I
I
feel
think
like
there's more. There was more fighters back then that weren't Ken Shamrock and Gracie material that there is now. But
even then, I would say they would still get rocked today because they were so one dimensional.
you think Gracie
Um,
would get rocked today?
yeah, if he came around in his prime, because there's a lot more, great jiu-jitsu artists right now in the world, but you don't see them in MMA.
And we're talking
Because
about Hoist Gracie, guys. Like when we say when I say Gracie, I talk about Hoist
all
Gracie.
due respect to Hoist Gracie and what him and his family have done, but it's also like
Times have
there's
changed. Things are
there's
faster.
so much dispute about that tournament. Everyone feels like it was just set up because no one else besides the Gracies knew what was really going on, and they were part of the people who were putting on that tournament. So there's a lot of like,
Who's the one that beat Gracie? Like not beat him, but caused Gracie not to continue.
I think it was Sakuraba. I think he's the only guy who really beat them all.
Yeah,
Or in UFC or
in
Pride.
UFC. No, UFC. It was in UFC.
I don't remember.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got a lot of brain damage, bro.
I got a
I
lot of
smoked a
brain
lot of weed before this shit, bro. I told you I was pre-gaming, and when I pre-game, I pre-game. I don't do soft shit. I pre-game like if I'm going to a place where my boy Keith from Real Kind Meds is at, I'm a pre-game hard, and shout out to Keith. He got me really fucked up on
up on
420.
420.
Have I ever
Dear Keith, I will be in LA next week. By the time you see this, you will already have heard the news. You have already gotten information. Whatever I can do, I will try and do. But the least I can do is go, thanks to my boy Keith at Real Kind Meds, while I'm at where I'm at. So, take care of your boy. I take care of you.
I'll be the middleman, you know that.
I'll be the middleman. I'll be the middleman. Um, shit. Oh, shit. Something touched me. I think a spider.
Mm.
I'm not even kidding. Man, I have so many fucking. Oh, bro, it's hot out here. Okay,
Mm.
but the spiders that are out here, the spiders that like, oh, I have a
We got
shot back.
we got a lot of spiders out here too. We got a lot of mosquitoes. I hate the mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes are the
Fuck the
worst.
mosquitoes, bro. Bro, I can't
Mosquitoes
say
are
much
hell.
about where I work and shit. Sorry, I'm getting some interesting things right now. Anyway, the mosquitoes where I work at, I can't say much um, about my employment because I signed an NDA and shit. But like, man, I can't say there's a lot of mosquitoes in the area, and holy fuck, they always chew up my fucking legs and shit. It
Is there
sucks.
swimming pool or water in your area? That's why.
I'll just say yes. I mean, it's a rich neighborhood, so obviously there's a lot of fucking swimming pools.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of like, you know what else causes that? Is everyone mows their lawn a lot, so it's all damp all the time.
There's a lot of fucking nice lawns where I work at, the opposite of where I live.
Angela lawnmower guys, he just doesn't want to tell you.
I wish. I wish. I wish I had a yard to mow.
You know, me too. I was saying
Yeah.
that the other day. Well, I
Don't you
do.
have a yard? You fucking dick.
Andrew's mad because I got a big ass backyard, and I don't do anything with it. Like unfortunately, like we're gonna stay in Oklahoma a little bit, but we're not gonna stay in this house much longer. But backyard is like my dogs go back there and take a whiz and a dump, and that's about it. My daughter's we have a front yard for her to go play in. We take her to the splash pad if we want, but I mean, if you want to come hang out in my backyard and be like, "Yo, I'm in the backyard," you can all
I'm
you
good.
want.
I'm good on Oklahoma. I don't know what type of fucking shit they're gonna try and pull now that the fucking Supreme Court is basically ruling. Yeah, conservatives do whatever the fuck you want. We'll be cool with it. We'll let you guys totally ruin the fucking country.
Now let's roll into this. The debate the other night. Did you watch the debate the other night?
Oh my god, I hated it. I hated it
All
because
right.
it's
So
like
is that okay? Let me ask. We got into a political conversation one time, and I would like to put this on the air now a little bit as much as possible because I'm not a political guy, and so out of nowhere, because I don't watch political shit or the news or I don't keep up with any of it. I don't know the difference between a Republican and a Democrat. I know one's a donkey, one's an elephant. Alls I know is the other night there was a debate on TV that had Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and I watched some of it because I didn't understand what the fuck I was watching. First of all, second of all, these are our two guys. This is it. These are the two guys to choose from to be our next president. Is this true?
that's the general consensus. We got a guy who's got a form of dementia that makes him fucking ramble on and on about shit and make shit up, and he's going crazy. While another
Uh,
guy has a form of dementia where he's just not knowing what he's saying and he's freezing up a lot.
you
That's
know what's
what.
funny is I couldn't
And
even
it's
tell
like
you which one you're talking
it's
about.
like it's like it's like one wants to be a fucking dictator, the other's just
On his meds.
only he was on his meds that night. Even when he's on, like, I'll say this about Biden, right? That dude had a stutter, as a kid and growing up. So that's something to overcome. And, as you see throughout his career in politics, you can see he still had it from time to time. And it was getting worse, towards like the later years of the Obama administration, I felt like. And it's like, it's one thing to be punch drunk and, like I am, or you smoke a lot of weed, been in car crashes, you did dumb shit as a kid, you know. But like with Biden's decline over the last year or so, you could see it gradually. I know a lot of people will talk about his State of the Union address, but there were a lot of instances where I was like, what the fuck is this guy saying? And I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a conservative. I'm not right wing. I'm the furthest from that shit. But I
Man,
know I'm not the only person who isn't on that side of the aisle that feels that way.
man,
So there's your dog.
yeah,
But
man.
but when I was watching that shit, I felt so ashamed of our country because your dog wants to get in on this discussion too.
Do you see the husky? Come here,
Yeah,
buddy. Come
Is the
here.
cone still on? Oh,
No,
yeah, it's the
that's
other
the
dog.
husky. Nah, Cone Boy's right there.
Mm,
This is Logan. He don't
mm.
come on. He's the old man. He don't come on TV too much. TV. He don't come on the podcast too much. But when he does,
Stays off
blessed.
camera until it's time for the big time moments.
Exactly. All right, back. Be gone, children. Well, buddy, you love me?
Bye, dogs.
Yes. Come on. We're talking politics, boys. Get out.
My dog's falling asleep because this is fucking politics are boring to him. But anyway,
The politics are boring. That's why I don't follow this shit. I'm
it's
not.
just
I
fuck. It's
don't
a
vote.
sad state of affairs where like the two major candidates for president are Donald Trump, who wants to be a dictator and who's
Mhm.
had helped the GOP lay the groundwork for all the shit he's going to do in 2025 if he gets elected. And then there's Joe Biden, who's just like,
Who would
yeah,
you pick?
like
Who would you pick as president?
neither.
No, I mean, no. You're like you're God. You're like I'm Andrew. This is who the president of the United States will be, and the
No
vice
one.
president.
There should be no president.
Really?
I don't think there should be a president. I don't really think there should be a United States. How about
Wait, what do you
that?
mean? Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what do you mean? Like we shouldn't be all divided up? Like
I don't think the United States, Canada, Mexico, or any government along the Western Hemisphere is legitimate because what we're doing, like the lands we live on, are all stolen lands. You know, I don't think like the people in charge of it, the people who took over it, the people who made um, the society here in the Western Hemisphere what it is now. They fucking basically stole it and committed genocide. And now here I am, a person of Olmec and Mayan descent, speaking English. You know,
you're
it's
Mayan?
Salvadorian, around something like that, I guess. But it's like fucking. It's like the laws and the way things are should not be determined by the people who they've been determined by. And I know it sounds like radically left, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Like I don't think I really think like this world has really deteriorated over the last what was it 800 years because of all this shit. So to me, it's like no, I don't think we should have the United States, Canada, any of these countries. Because all it does is fuck shit up. And we have countries this size and trying to have like one person like control 335 million people. It's like, does that make sense to you, Gus? And then we have like a group of like 9 people that no one chose fucking dictating the final laws in this country. And now we have like fucking 50 different places that have their own separate laws under this one united country. And it's like we're supposed to be following a constitution that states uh constitution and laws and fucking precedents that state things like separation of church and state. Now we have states like fucking Oklahoma requiring kids to learn the Bible, and what was it? I think it was like Texas requiring all classrooms to have the 10 Commandments or some shit.
That's real, guys. The out here
It's all real.
In
And this
Oklahoma,
is
they're starting to require the kids to have the Bible and shit.
and it's fucking insane to me because all these people who talk about freedom and all this shit, they're trying to fucking bring fascism under the guise of freedom. You know who's only people who are going to get freedom? Fucking white dudes, straight white dudes who are Christian and Catholics. Fucking everyone else is going to get fucked over. If the fucking Republicans have their way. And sadly, I feel like that's a direction we're headed. Man, I don't think I'm going to be alive in 2026 for the things I'm saying if Trump gets in office. I don't think a lot of us are
You
because
think we're gonna go to war?
no, no one's going to go to war. Here's the thing. Either Trump gets elected because Biden won't drop out of the race, or fucking a Democrat who takes over for Biden wins. I don't think Biden's gonna win. They take over fucking in the election and shit, get to office, a bunch of fucking Republicans and conservatives will be outraged. They'll try and do the same shit they did on
What are you?
January
What are
6th.
like? Are you a Republican or Democrat?
Technically, I registered Democrat most recently because of Bernie
This interview is
Sanders.
over. This interview is over. I'm a fucking with a Democrat.
I'm not a Democrat. I just registered as one
I'm just,
because
bro. I'm kidding because that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm telling my story.
I don't get in politics because of that right
I'm
there.
telling my story so you understand how ridiculous this is. The Democratic Party does not fully align with my beliefs, but they're the ones who closely align with my beliefs. But I wouldn't register with the party. I'd be non affiliated if it weren't for the fact that in 2016, I believe, when Bernie Sanders was running for president,
Is
there
that
was
your
a
guy?
lot of he was, yeah, he was. I would still say somewhat, but anyway, stop interrupting me. Fuck. Trying to get through this story and I'm losing my train of thought and now I'm like trying to remember what I was saying. Bernie Sanders, primary. Okay. Hillary Clinton. Everyone was like saying, saying all this shit about like the primary ballots that if you're not affiliate like because back then like I still think it's this way. Like during the presidential primaries, like people who are like of any affiliation can vote for whichever party, I believe. Or the Democrats allowed like almost anyone besides Republicans to vote in their primary. I remember people saying, "Oh, there could be problems. So if you're non-affiliated, just switch to Democrat so it's easier. Just check a box. No fucking real thought put into it for myself and like most people. A lot of people did it just so they can get Bernie Sanders to fucking win. The primary. So I go to my polling place, right? And I remember specifically telling the lady working there, middle-aged white woman, I told her, uh, because I read this shit on Reddit on the day of the election, telling me to do this just in case. Hey, I would please like a Democrat primary ballot. And then she tried to fucking give me the runaround. I said, "Ma'am, I am registered as a Democrat." She gave me a nonpartisan ballot. I was like, okay, fucking made a vote for Bernie. Went to go take it to the fucking machine. It was fucking denied. It said not valid, and she was trying to figure out why. And the woman next to her, who's like in her late 20s or early 30s, she's like, "Huh, that's weird." And I remember telling her, "Ma'am," the middle-aged woman, "Ma'am, I need a Democratic ballot. I'm registered as a Democrat." And she just finally like, "Ugh, okay," hesitated. And I went and I said, I'm telling you, it's gonna work for me." Did the thing, voted for Bernie, went back with my Democrat ballot. She slid it into the machine and it worked. And then the woman next to her, the younger one, was looked at her like, "Wow, that's crazy." I wonder if anyone else has done that. And I remember telling her, "Yeah, man." I remember telling the poll worker, a middle-aged woman, "Ma'am, you just tried to like suppress my vote. How many times have you done this today already?" And it's just like, oh my god. I definitely believe the DNC totally screwed over Bernie because we really like he really should have been the guy in 2016, but they kept pushing Hillary Clinton, who was very unpopular. She was not going to energize the base like Obama did, and they should have done it again in 2020. But there was a lot of bullshit, including like all the candidates suddenly dropping out to endorse Joe Biden at Obama's urging, and Elizabeth Warren being one of the holdouts who definitely siphoned votes away from Bernie Sanders during the 2020 primary before it was too late. Because I feel like it was all set up so people can get Democrats can get Joe Biden in office. The thing about Democrats is, you know, they're fucking stupid and spineless, right? But they're not fucking outright bigoted, hateful assholes like conservatives and Republicans are. So it's like in this two-party system, you have to go with one or the other. So it's like
Are you
I'm
allowed
not
to say that?
I'm allowed to say it. I'll say whatever the fuck I want to say because that's my right. And I'm going to say this. I have to go with the Democrats. I have to go with the left because the right, voting for the right wing, voting for the Republicans, voting for conservatives does not align with my best interests or the best interests of my fellow citizens. Like, think about this, Gus. You know why everything is so expensive these days? You know why there's inflation?
Right.
Because Donald Trump put in fucking tariffs on goods from fucking China, I believe, and other foreign nations that we rely on to get most of our goods from. That's why shit got so expensive. You know why people's taxes are going up over the last, since 2017? Because Donald Trump, when he passed his tax cuts, he passed tax increases on to people, I believe, making less than $250,000 a year.
That's
And
everybody damn near.
it's going to keep going up until 2027. That was a law. You can look it up. So everyone wants to talk about the economy. Donald Trump tanked it on purpose. And it's like the Republicans created a mess, just so they can tell people, oh, look, the Democrats are at fault for this. The Democrats are at fault for this one. Really, Democrats are trying to stabilize the country, but at the same time, it's like they're also catering, at least the major fucking Democrats, they're catering to corporate interests. It's like Democrats are just disappointing. They suck and they're
Political
disappointing.
Andrew. Political Andrew.
Well, you wanted to talk politics, bro.
Hey, I did because I don't get to talk politics with nobody because I'm not into it, but it's nice to get a side of things that you actually look at both sides and actually like, well, I'm really not with both sides. I'm trying to edge with the side that edges with me as the best as possible.
Yeah. The
You
side
know?
that won't want to fucking have my fucking citizenship status fucking stripped from me, even though I was born here in the United States, just
Wait,
because
you're
I'm
an
brown.
illegal? You can be an
No,
illegal.
I said I was born here in the Republicans want to denaturalize ethnic minorities, even if they're born here. That's part of their 2020 Project 2025 plan, or at least I read of it. I don't know if it's part of the plan, but that's one of their agendas. They don't fucking want. They want, dude. Modern day Republicans, right wingers, and conservatives are, for the most part, basically just fucking Nazis now. I really feel like there's very few fucking Ned Flanders type conservatives out there right now who are just dorks, dorks who read a Bible and fucking take shit like
He said
who
Ned Flanders.
get freaked out by the thought of fucking trans people existing, like, but won't go as far as wanting to fucking you know pass laws that discriminate against them, which is so fucked up. But
Okay,
at
wait,
least,
wait, 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 wait. So one side is against like trans and one side is not.
yes, Republicans are against trans people. There's
Really?
if you look up all the
I'm
law,
telling you, I really don't know this shit. Like I
like
stay out of the fight. I just stay out of the
like
fight.
Republicans will talk all this shit about the economy and Americans struggling, but if you look at the amount of laws and shit
Mhm.
proposed and passed by Republicans versus to fucking uh stop all that shit from like getting worse for the economy and shit versus all the shit they've done to discriminate against the fucking trans people, you'll see that they fucking try and pass hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bills trying to discriminate against trans people, which is really fucked up. I don't care where you stand on the issue, right? If
Mhm.
you don't believe like, a trans woman is a woman, fine, whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to lecture you.
Right.
But it's also like you don't have the fucking right to fucking discriminate against them for that. You're just being a dick. Let these fucking people live. Let other people live. But we don't have that in this country. We have a lot of fucking people who push moral panic onto a lot of fucking gullible, stupid fucks into thinking, oh, trans people are all predators and all this shit, which is why we have a lot of the hysteria now. A lot of the shit that trans people are going through is the same shit that fucking black people and Hispanics and Muslims have gone through. And it's really fucked up. And now they're the ones who are being fucking put in this situation where they have to be the bad guy for one political fucking group. And it's fucked up because Republicans aren't running on policy. They're not running on fucking ways to make anything better. They're just trying to be like, let's figure out ways to prevent like kids who are trans from being able to get the access they need to the healthcare they need so that they can grow up and become happy adults. Even they want to discriminate against adults being able to get gender affirming care, which is fucked up. Say what you want about, like, oh, I don't think my government taxes should go to pay for that shit, blah, blah, blah. Your government taxes go to pay for a fucking, a weekend trip for Matt Gates to meet up with a fucking underage hooker. All right. Shut the fuck up. Stop fucking being pissed off about trans people. Move on the fuck with your life. Here's my thing, guys. What the fuck do trans people existing do to impact your life in a negative way?
And
What's,
mine,
yeah,
none.
exactly. No one can say, "Oh, the reason why my life is this way and this way in a negative way is because trans people exist." You can't say that shit, dude, because there's no one who can say that. The only people who are doing this shit are just fucking bigoted assholes.
Now, someone asked me a question one time, and
Huh.
I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna just be straight up truthful because this question was actually asked last week because we were talking about martial arts and shit, and they're like, what if your daughter were to take martial arts, and by the time, because she's only 2, by the time she reaches 14 and she's doing a tournament, there's a high capability of a transgender male female being in that tournament with her, and it's a male, like born male, transitioned within a couple years prior to that, and is a 14-year-old male now in there with your 14-year-old daughter in a tournament. Now, the only thing that I am against is, like, deep down, I know that my daughter, who is born a woman, is going to go in and fight someone that was born a male with male strength. That's my concern. And I will pull my I would. Then they said, well, would you pull your daughter? I said 100%. I'm not gonna. I'm sorry, but it's a man versus, like, it's the strength caliber at that point. It has nothing to
Mm.
do with what you could transition to all you want. I support. I'm good, but I would not let my daughter go into a tournament or any type of physicality with someone that was born male with that strength. I couldn't do it.
I mean,
I couldn't do it.
this is such a loaded thing. I'm
Mm,
not educated enough to really explain to you why that's kind of like, I'm sure you did know research into this, but maybe why it's kind of ignorant on your part that you said that, because n- if someone transitions, they're not going to maintain their strength. You know, they're going to fucking lose a lot of mass and muscle. And especially if, like, the hypothetical of like a 14-year-old trans person who's gone through that. If someone is 14 years old,
uh-huh.
born male biologically, and then they go through a transition and they become female,
Well,
they're,
at that, even
hold on,
at
hold
that,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
maybe I said that wrong because
hold
no,
on,
listen.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
Okay,
hold on, hold on. Let me help try and educate you, even though I'm a dumbass on this shit too. It's like this: hormone blockers, blah blah blah. Just because somebody was born male
mhm,
and they transition to female as a kid or any point in their life doesn't mean they're going to have all the same physical attributes
okay.
as they did before. So it's like,
Is there a legal age? Wait, hang on, stop. I'm actually going to stop you. I'm stopping you because what I'm actually trying to say is not the transition, is a male identifying as a female in the
no, I'm
tournament.
talking about hormone use. I'm talking about actual transition.
Okay, I'm sorry. Then let me remove myself from that part of saying that, because that's not, as you were saying. I was like, no, 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 that's not what I
No,
meant.
I get it. You don't
I'm
understand.
saying that a male, a 14-year-old male just sudden all of a sudden says, I identify as a female. Nothing's been done by a doctor yet. No pills have been taken. No hormone pills have been taken or anything yet. It just, this person decided, hey, I identify as a woman now, but I've also been in martial arts for a while. Okay.
I
and now
mean,
I'm going to join this tournament as a 14-year-old female. I would not let my daughter do that. That's what I'm
if we're
saying.
talking martial arts, and it's like I don't understand why you care, because guess what, dude? There are tournaments out there where boys and girls face each other. I don't really care about this whole argument when it comes to that, because guess what? I'm a full grown man. And I got my ass whooped by women too in training. Shut the fuck up, Gus. I'm sure you gotten your ass whooped by women too in martial arts. You cannot say ever, if you've ever done martial arts and you're a dude and you can sit there and say, I've never gotten my ass whooped by a woman, you're full of shit.
Her name was
Unless you're
Chi. Her name
unless
was
you're
Chi. Chi. She whooped my
unless
ass.
you're like fucking, Tom Aspinall or some shit, Israel
Look,
Adesanya. There's no way, like, you could say, "Oh, I never got my ass kicked by." Listen, women have tapped me out. Women have fucking pieced me up in
okay,
sparring.
time out. Time out. Let's calm down here
Okay,
because all I'm saying is obviously I am uneducated about a lot of things. Okay, like I don't know what somebody goes through when they transition. The question that was asked to me: would you let your daughter go in there knowing that a 14-year-old boy is now identifying as a female? Would you? That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's like, no, I'm sorry. And yeah, you're right. There is open turn. There is mixed martial art
yeah,
or with
mixed
it
gender.
mixed gender, and I get that. But that's all I'm saying. I'm now.
As look, I can sort of understand that viewpoint as someone who doesn't know, but at the same time, it's like I'll draw the line at saying if you feel like it's okay to discriminate against that boy and girl outside of sports and social, in a social sense, okay, that's where I'll really have a hard line stance on it. When it comes to sports, I don't fucking care, about the debate, because sports, it's like, yeah, they're fun, they're something for kids to do and shit, but at the same time, it's like, how about fucking getting those kids who complain about trans people getting into sports? How about we fucking get them to spend more time reading fucking books instead? Fuck all this shit. Like there's no reason why kids should be fucking looking at competitions, from an athletic standpoint as something important. Sports for kids should be fun. I
I
don't
get it. I
I
get it.
don't give a shit about the whole
But that like
trans people in kid sports debate. I just don't care. And to me, it's like this: just fucking just let people live. It doesn't matter, trans, cisgendered, whatever,
what's that? What's that? Wait, what's that?
biological, or us, like we don't identify as trans.
Oh, okay, okay.
Anyway, that's my take on it. Just let people live. I don't fucking
I'm the
care.
same way. I don't
But it's
care.
like I get it where you come from, but at the same time, it's like, is this really a fucking priority, in your
No, it
life?
was
When
just
it's like, what are you more concerned about, Gus? Are you more concerned about like whether or not your daughter faces some a trans person who hasn't really
no.
gone through the process yet,
Nope.
versus the
I,
environment she's gonna live in once she's that age? I'm talking about like climate change, talking about like fucking, listen, like I said, this is all that shit is a distraction from the real
you're
problems. Last week, the Supreme Court, or this week, I forgot when, they struck down this thing, Chevron, who's basically a precedent set for like 40 years that allowed, you know, government officials to issue like fucking regulations to fucking, corporations and shit. But now that got struck down. So that's probably going to lead to fucking, corporations being allowed to fucking throw fucking poison into our fucking water streams, polluting our
it's
air
already
more
in there.
often. Huh?
Bro,
More
you're
so,
drinking a glass
yeah,
of poison right
I
now.
know. More so than usual. They're going to be able to get away with it at higher levels with no accountability. Before there was some accountability, but now the fucking Republican appointed Supreme Court said, "Hey, you know what? You guys do whatever the fuck you want. Fucking, you don't have to be held by standards by any of these guys. Go make your money. Fucking, you fucking give people fucking." Excuse me, you give people fucking liver disease and their kids come out with three eyes. Fuck it, that's their problem, not your problem. Shit, they shouldn't have fucking been drinking that fucking stream water in the first place that you polluted. That's what's fucking happening, Gus. They're taking over the country and fucking it up. And that's the country you should be more worried about. You should be more worried about that than you should be worried about your daughter in a hypothetical martial arts tournament. And besides, dude,
Okay,
if
time
you're
out and stop. See, you're one of those dudes who twist all that around.
no, I'm just
You
saying.
did. You just did. Stop, Andrew. Stop. I'm
Yeah.
fucking quit because you just twisted it all around because you said I'm like, bro, I'm not
No,
worried about. Shut
I'm
up.
not
I'm not.
saying you. I'm
Shut
saying
up,
people in general.
bro. But you just aimed that at me like, oh, you're hypothetically, dude. I don't care about like that's not what my concern was. Someone just
No,
flat out asked me a
no,
question.
I was saying
Would you let
people
your
in general, the audience. When I say you, I'm talking
mm,
about you, the audience. You should be thinking about this shit instead of trans people. You should be thinking about this shit instead of, pronouns. Should I fucking worry about getting the right ones and offending someone? Or should I say this to offend someone? You shouldn't worry about any of that shit. People are being distracted from the real issues, man. And all of you need to realize that. I'm not talking to you guys, I'm talking to all you watching this shit. That's what I mean. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you. Maybe you had one too many bong rips. Maybe
not
I just.
enough actually.
No,
Well, no, because I don't like because like I've gotten into these
I
debates.
get what
I've
you're
gotten into no,
saying.
see, shut the fuck up.
I'm
I've gotten
sorry.
into the debates of like the transgender thing and all this shit, and my words start getting twisted by the other. It's like, well, why are you? It's like, no, look. Someone asked me a question. I don't watch the news. I just recently learned what the flags meant, like all the like LGBT. I just learned what all that meant, like within the past 2 years, and it's just not that I don't care. It's just like I
You
don't
don't understand it.
or I just didn't have time for a lot of the shit on the news. And that's really what it was. Like I
And
just anybody that knows me knows that I don't watch TV like that. Knows that I don't keep up on politics like that or anything. If you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. I don't care.
yeah.
That's it. That's it. You're cool with me, I'm cool with you. A lot of my friends growing up were gay. And I never I didn't give a fuck. I've bro, when my security company said that they had a contract at the Brass Rail in San Diego, which is one of the biggest gay bars, bro, I was in my early 20s and I was like, I want to go. And like the homophobic dude's like, why would you want to work at a gay bar? I said, because I'm straight. Because I'm straight, and I know how to conduct myself, and I'll have a good time there, and I'll make some good tips. You know what I mean? So, and plus, I'm in pro wrestling, bro. Half that shit's gay anyway. You know what I mean? Like, so it should be a W in there for wrestling. Hey, can you guys accept wrestling in the flag? Can you put the W in the flag? Because that shit, like that's you guys. That's all the shit you guys talk about. I see in the locker room. Just to let you guys know.
I'm still figuring out the flag stuff myself. I know the rainbow flag and I know the trans flag. I'm still
Mhm.
figuring that stuff out. Look, Gus, I'm just saying this. You personally, I'll say this to you personally. I don't think you're a bad dude. I just think you're, like you said, you admit that you're kind of ignorant, not in a bad way. Not saying that as an insult. I mean, in the literal sense that you don't watch the news, you don't pay attention to current events, and it's like maybe you just. And I said you don't obviously understand, and that's not a bad thing on your end per se. You're just a dude living your life. But I will like, and it's not again, not to you. I'm saying in general to people like don't fucking. Why is this something that anyone would care about? Why are we having this conversation in 2024 when it's like
I get what you're talking about because I've
in general,
seen.
not you, but but society and pop
Oh no,
culture.
I get that because I've seen shit on YouTube, where there's this group fighting this group, and I've asked myself, why do you guys care? Go home.
Yeah,
Go
it
home.
it reminds me of the. Do you remember Prop 8?
Remind me.
The gay
I remember Prop 8, but
the
remind me.
gay marriage ban in 2008.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes,
I
yes,
just
yes, yes.
like I was 20 years old. That was my first election. It was Obama, and I just remember like people being so passionate about wanting to ban gay marriage, and I just remember what the fuck. And now we're in 2024, and it's like I'm not saying this about you. Let me clear that. Let me be
Okay,
clear.
I get
We're
it.
talking about people who want to ban the existence of trans people, and it's just insane to
I
me.
don't care.
Like, listen, I feel like the only reason why anyone would be afraid of him is because they're probably attracted to him and they don't want to admit it. You know?
So I was working the strip clubs. I was managing strip clubs past year, and believe it or not, I've had some transgender women come in that are I don't know how to say. Is it transgender women? Like when they walk in, they're a woman, but they were a man. Or are they transgender men? Or just transgender?
Trans
Trans
women. You can
trans
just say
women.
trans women.
Trans women. Okay, so
Not
this
and to people watching, he's not saying that to be malicious. He's trying to like clarify.
I don't.
Listen,
Yeah, I really don't know.
Gus is listen. Gus is kind of dumb, but he's not a bad guy. Okay,
Fucking asshole.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to let people
So
know.
listen.
'Cause,
So listen. This beautiful woman walked in, and it was ready to hire her because that's how that's how strip clubs function.
yeah,
She walked in, she explained that she was a dancer and all this. I was like, cool. And then she pulled me to the side and said, I'm a male. And I'm like, and that's the first thing I did was I looked down and I said, look, if you've had surgery, you're good. If not, there might be a safety issue. And she said, that's what I want to know. I said, come on, let me call my boss. Let me find out what's going on and how I conduct it. And here's what I was told to do. And it seemed to be okay with this woman. I was told to explain. I said, "Hey, we don't market trans. We don't market anything like that. We support, but we do market the fact that it is nude women, and we if because of the marketing thing, we don't say trans. And if we did, it would we would obviously market that. Since we don't market it, we will 100%. You can work for us, but you would have to make it clear to the customer right away, damn near, like, hey, I am a man, and there's the high risk of fights and all this other stuff. So that's what they're explaining to me, and they're like, so just but there was it was way more detailed. So when I
mm,
went back to her and I started talking to her, I said, look, it sounds like it all breaks down to safety. And she goes, look, I completely understand. She goes, I worked at another club. I didn't say anything. Someone actually found out. I am gonna have my surgery, and when I do, I think that's when I'll come back. But I really, really want to be in this industry. And I said, hey, when you feel when I know it's safe, and I feel that everyone's safe for the environment, please come back. And I told her, I said, you're beautiful. Like you have a good personality. You seem to take criticism well, and that was one of my first interactions and my real only interactions, and I thought it was a good positive one. And I didn't feel any type of way of like, oh my god, am I going to say the wrong thing and it offend her? I just needed to be educated real quick because my first reaction would have, if I didn't hear anything from my managers, my first thing would have been, I think it might be a safety issue, just because somebody might be really into you, and unfortunately, if it reveals that you are a male, I don't want somebody to hurt you. And that would be the first thing that happens is someone's going to hurt you physically, and then we got to come in and hurt them because you're
mhm,
with us. You're my girl. You're one of us. I said, then we got to hurt them, and then it turns into a big ordeal. And unfortunately, I think politically, trans wise, that would all come out of, and so we talked, and she was like, look, I understand. She goes, there's actually a couple other girls that wanted to come, but they were scared to even enter the building. I said,
yeah,
look, and I told my, and look, when you meet my wife one day, ask her, I want to open an exotic strip club or a strip club, but that promotes that lets like that trans women want to be safe. And I know there's a clientele out there for that. And I know there's not a safe environment for it, but it's like, hey, if if you guys want a safe environment, just let you know, I've actually thought about it for the past year and how to make it work for everyone's safety first, obviously. But
mhm.
back to the original thing is like, yeah, I just wanted her to be safe and I didn't want her to get hurt. And I didn't know how to politically deal with the situation other than her safety was first. So that's that's my one story that I have that I encountered with somebody, that needed my assistance in it. So
I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people like you should be more in tune of with what's going on. So you understand this sort of shit. And that so people like you can understand, you know, we shouldn't be talking about this. No one should be. You know, we shouldn't be
Right.
talking about the safety of a trans person, you know, because of that shit. You know, we should be talking about how can we make it so that the biggest thing people worry about is their kids getting good grades in school instead of like fucking getting shot up, or you know, some parents will be like, I don't want my kids to see cross dressers or drag queens, blah blah blah. It's like, what? Your kids, we have a lot more problems going on, right?
my
Fucking
wife, my wife just did a float in the gay pride parade out here in Oklahoma, the biggest one. And unfortunately, my daughter wasn't feeling well, but I was going to take her knowing damn well what was going to be out there. And it's like, all she's going to see, she's 2 years old.
yeah,
She's going to see bright colors and people having a great fucking time. And all I'm going to do is be proud of my wife for being out there and be around a bunch of people that are just having fucking fun and living life.
yeah.
Like, I have no phobia about none of this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
And the thing that fucking bothers me the most about the trans discourse, sorry to cut you off,
no.
that there's one for the comp right there. Um, it's that we're talking about trans people and we're treating them like predators, but you know, I watch a lot of predator catching videos and shit, and it's like a lot of those people getting caught are straight dudes. And like whenever we hear about politicians in a scandal, you know, who is it getting caught with another man sexually? It's the homophobic fucking Republican fucking wants to fucking ban all sorts of gay people from existing
It
and having rights and all this shit. You know, it's like
really is, huh? It really fucking
it's
is, huh? It really
always
is.
like that, bro. It's always fucking like that shit. And I just hate talking about it. Like, and I also hate talking about like immigration. I hate how fucking, you know,
You hate talking about it. You just brought it up. Well, let's get off of all the.
okay.
Let's get
We'll
off the
talk about
political.
politics more later.
Hey, that was our political views
Do
for
you
the
think
day,
people are
guys.
here to listen to us talk about politics or
Fuck no, they
social
want to hear the
issues?
drama in SoCal. Fuck no,
Mm.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, let's not start
What
that.
drama's going on, Gus?
Nothing. Hey, I got here. Let's just do a complete 180.
Should we
Let's
just
talk about nepotism. And you, do you know where I'm getting when I say let's talk about some nepotism?
have you heard something that I haven't heard?
LeBron James just signed back with the Lakers today.
How many dudes in San Diego just got nervous right now hearing that?
Why would they be nervous? Well, we don't have a team. San Diego doesn't
No,
have a team.
no, I'm talking about the wrestling scene. You know, you bring up nepotism after we said we're gonna do 180.
No, we'll get to all that later. No,
I'm fucking
you're
annoyed by it, but at the same time, it's like a second round pick. Fucking Bronny's probably going to spend time in the G League. He'll probably get like 1 or 2 games to play with his dad. It'll be a fucking PR moment. If
that's what
LeBron's if LeBron's really taking a pay cut, you know, fine, but we're not going to do shit.
I look, dude. Like my whole take on that whole thing was just like, bro, he really has a lot of pull, and for what, man? For fucking what? Like you're
He
a Lakers,
sell he
you're
sells
a
a lot of jerseys.
you're a Lakers fan, right?
Yeah,
Are
dude,
you a LeBron James fan?
no.
He said no,
Off the bat, no.
no.
No, I never believed like he's a great athlete and he can do explosive shit. He can score a lot of points. But as an overall basketball player, I never thought he was that great. He didn't fucking win a championship until he linked up with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. And I think they had to get a fucking another person to fucking help them out when they failed their first year. And then when he went back to Cleveland, what did he have like fucking didn't he have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love with him when he won
Yeah,
the
yeah,
title?
yeah.
And then he goes to LA. He has fucking Anthony Davis and a really good fucking set of fucking core guys around him, and then they win the title in the bubble. You know, I think that really shows that LeBron fucking yeah, he's a great scorer and shit, but he like yeah, he's done a lot of great shit in the league, high scoring leader and all that. You know, fucking highlight reel that could probably fucking you know last longer than the entire fucking every single Star Wars fucking movie and TV show ever fucking produced. You know, but it's like when he you look at him overall, and when you think about what the sport of basketball is overall, which is a team sport, like I don't think LeBron is the greatest, and I never really was a fan of his, especially because I was growing up. Like when not I was growing up, I grew up on Kobe, and then when LeBron came around, the entire like, and he started like getting up in years, like around 5 seasons into the association, everyone was starting to make the comparisons, and it was like, no way, man, I've always been a Kobe guy, and it's like always been that way. I also grew up on Jordan, so I always felt resentful to LeBron a little bit, but at the same time, it's like everything he's done in his career sort of justified that, like post the decision and all that shit.
Yeah, I'm not a LeBron fan, bro. Not at all. Like,
Yeah.
have never really been, because like I grew up on Jordan, and I actually didn't like Kobe. I didn't like Kobe till he retired. Like
Mm,
straight up, like was not a Kobe fan at all. And I do nothing but respect Black Mamba now. I got a pair of Kobe's over there right now, but I was not a fan of Kobe's either. But he was a great Kobe. At least like his numbers show, his MVP show, his rings show. LeBron's don't, and that's why
yeah.
they call him the king, and I get
Dude,
upset. It's like the king
fucking
of what?
Kobe took the Lakers to the finals when they had Kwame Brown. He took them to the playoffs when they had Smush Parker, you know?
Yeah,
And
them rings.
like he fucking did so much for LA after the Shaq trade. A lot of people will probably look at Kobe and be like, it's his fault that we went through a lot of hardship during those years. But it's all same time, it's like there was so much to that, but ultimately is like Kobe lasted longer than Shaq. Kobe brought us fucking rings, whereas Shaq had to fucking team up with fucking D Wade
Wait, yeah.
and all that.
He
I
won.
mean, Shaq,
Shaq won a ring first before Kobe after the departure, huh?
yeah, but Kobe
Uh,
also had really
nobody, nobody.
nobody. He had like Andrew Bynum for a while. He had
Bynum was
fucking
just like a lug, bro. Like
Bynum. Bynum had so much potential that he
think
never lived
so.
up to. Dude, he could have been really great if he fucking had the work ethic. He could have
He
fucking like.
he needed a Shaq around him, to be honest. He
I
needed a big.
mean, yeah, because it's sad to think about Bynum. Fucking, he could have been great. He could have been really fucking great, but I don't think he worked hard enough.
Who do you fuck with outside the Lakers? Like, do you like
No
any other?
one,
Nobody.
no one.
Not even players.
Former Lakers, I like Caruso, Alex Caruso. I fuck with him.
So Lakers are it. That's it, huh?
Bro, I'm a Laker guy. I don't fucking like. I'm a fan of basketball, and I can watch the sport, But you ask me to fucking name fucking my favorites, it's like fuck. Yeah, I can't do that, bro.
You're more baseball guy then.
I Same with baseball. Dodgers. I don't fuck with anyone else.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Fuck you.
Speaking of the Dodgers, though, what about like Trevor Bauer? I want him to come back to the MLB because it's all clear. Everything's clear. Like he's a great pitcher, and I just thought he was a shit talker. I hated that he played for the Dodgers, but I love the competition when he was out there.
I
Like him and
don't.
Toddy when they would go at each other. I loved it,
I don't really
But
give a fuck, but it's also like, dude, look at it's like, oh, look at the numbers he's putting up in the Mexican league, but it's also like, how many of the Mexican league
oh, it's not even that
hitters?
though. It's not even that, bro. I just want him to come back to the MLB. Like
I
he
think
was.
I just think he's just a fucking uh I think he's just very toxic. Also, shout out to my boy Damian Arsenic. Happy birthday! I know you love that word, toxic. He just seems like a toxic figure in the league. It's like, fuck it. I'm glad
Think
he's
so?
gone. Yeah, like based on the shit I've seen from his social media, it's like I'm glad we're not dealing with his ass in the fucking MLB.
I don't know. Sometimes you got to be the guy who throws the ball into the crowd after you hit the
Listen,
bat.
I if anyone knows anything about being controversial,
Kobe.
anyway, we've gone this long without talking about wrestling.
We're gonna keep doing it. Is there any? What's your favorite kind of weed?
Fuck.
I'm watching the timer, bro. We're gonna
So
make
many
this happen. We're gonna make this
so
happen.
many people fucking are very disappointed right now. They're so bored because they've expected certain things from us and we're not delivering. They're probably looking at I bet you the numbers are going to be really bad after the first few minutes. People are gonna be like, they're talking about politics. Oh my
Wait
god.
till the
Maybe
end. Wait
maybe
till the
maybe
end.
American Oni will fucking probably try and say
Hey,
some.
shh. No wrestling. What's your favorite weed?
Fuck, I used to love Girl Scout cookies. I don't really think I have not seen Girl Scout cookies anymore. I think they're just done because
No.
everything's been replaced by bum ass fucking dispensary weed.
Oh, that's dude. The dispensary weed out in California is just mids,
It's
bro.
just fucking disgusting, bro.
Hey, so I know you brought up some farm shit the other day. Actually, Oklahoma
Yeah.
has a lot of good farms out here, bro.
I'm
There's a
not
lot of.
going to Oklahoma.
I'm
Fuck
not
you.
trying to get you to go to
Even
Oklahoma.
even even if the
I'm just
politics weren't
telling
fucking that
you.
way, it's still fucking Oklahoma.
I think you need better weed.
I got good weed,
Are you
bro.
smoking sativa?
I think I'm smoking indicas.
You need to smoke indica because if you smoke sativa, you just fucking.
No, I get wired up on weed no matter what, bro. You fucking give me
Same.
weed.
A lot
You
of
give me
people are like,
weed,
bro,
I'm
this.
just fucking. If anything, I smoked an indica during one of my jiu-jitsu tournaments and
Hey,
won.
man, I used to smoke before football. I
Yeah.
know that. That used to be fun. So wait, that's it? Girl Scout cookies is your favorite weed? That's it?
OG Kush as well. I'm keeping it basic. Um, I never really fucked with Blue Dream. I never really liked that. I just
Blue Dream was cool, but it was a sativa. I wasn't a sativa guy.
SFVOG, aka Jack Herrera. Fuck.
No, the OG Jack is the fire, bro.
Is
The
it? I might have had OG Jack. King Louis had some the ones at least at the dispensaries I went to, they were some good King Louis.
the OG Gorilla Glues from like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, like the real Gorilla Glues, like the Gorilla Glue 4,
Oh yeah.
not the bullshit that's out now.
I
Like the
I I
trap weed. The trap weed was the best weed, bro.
I'm not, dude. I know there's one. We'll talk when you get here. I mean, if we don't get in touch with Keith, we can get in touch with my guys who have a fucking grower friend who can get us good stuff for a good price.
Price.
Good price.
Price. You know who I am?
Oh, you
Mic'd up
bet.
with
Are you gonna get us free weed?
Mic'd up with Gus.
You gonna get us free weed when you're here?
That's the point. That's the point.
You better get me free weed, bro. I don't want to spend any money on
He
weed.
said I don't want to spend no money. Man, let's see. I like the lemons. The lemons that came out the past 5 years. Like there was a lemon kush that came out. There was a lemon cake that
I
came
don't think
out.
I ever had any of those.
Try to find one that's called lemon lava. Ask your boy. Say, hey, do you got any lemon lava or any
I'll
like
I'll, I'll ask Keith at Real Kind Meds.
the
Real
one who
Kind
got you
Meds.
real fucked up on 420?
Real Kind Meds 421 on Twitter. Real Kind. Uh, real underscore kind 420 on Instagram.
I should remember that. I have
Oh,
something
dude,
important
you
to
have
do next
me.
week.
You have me.
I have something important next
I've
week.
got his number, bro. I'll just text him.
I have
We'll
something
talk and I'll
important next
text
week.
him.
I have something important. Um. All right, Andrew. I'll ask the big question.
Yay.
Have you seen Star Wars?
No, not a single piece of Star Wars media. I did play one of the Nintendo 64 games at my friend's house, but where you fucking play in one of the fucking planes and then you zip tie some fucking giant fucking robot walkie thingies and
He said some You know
I
how
don't
many
know what
people?
the fuck that shit's
You
called.
know how many people in the Star Wars world right now want to kill you? Wait, how come you're never in the Star Wars?
And how many of you fucking Star Wars guys know what a fucking twister is in jiu-jitsu? Maybe some of you. But if you don't, fuck you. Don't get mad at me for never watching Star Wars. Well, you probably never watched any of the shit I've liked.
But wait a minute. Why didn't you ever watch Star Wars
I just never really liked space stuff. I don't know
at
why.
all?
I've never really liked anything involving space or aliens. I don't know
My
why, dude.
favorite movie is Predator.
Mm. I've never been into alien stuff. I don't know why, dude. I space stuff. I don't know why. I always feel like it's just goofy and insulting. I don't know why.
What?
Maybe I'm an alien.
What was your first alien movie that fucked you up? Independence Day? That
E.T.
because you cried.
No, I just found it weird.
You
It
cried.
didn't make sense. Like,
It
if
was
there are really extraterrestrial beings, would they really look like that? That was something I legit asked my dad when I was 5 years old.
Is that what these motherfuckers look like, Dad? Yeah. All right. Nah. And you're like, fuck this movie then.
Yeah,
So what kind of movie did you grow up on then? Wait, you didn't watch no Star Wars movies? Did you didn't watch like wait, how old are you?
36.
So like what you didn't what could you have grown up on?
Ask
That
me.
well
Sports, going outside,
I mean I did
video
too. I no no
games,
no no. I did too.
Simpsons.
Oh, okay. But I mean I went outside and played too up until like 95 when I really discovered weed. I was like, okay,
See, I
like
was younger than you, man. I didn't discover weed till 2001, bro. When I was
shit, I had my own
13.
house in 2000. Anyway, did
How
you
old were
like
you? How old were you when you first smoked weed?
legitimately?
Yes.
11. 11 years.
Really?
Yep, with
Tell me the
Andy.
story.
So I am in 6th grade and I'm walking from middle school. I went to Horseman. Going down 54th Street. We're headed towards what's called it was Oak Park. That's where he lived. He lived in Oak Park because we were on our way to FanMart. And if you're from San Diego, you know that you like everyone back in the days went to FanMart, Fan Bam. We went up there, we kicked it, all the other shit. So we was going down the FanMart. We stopped in Oak Park where he lived, and he's like, "Hey, let me go. I gotta grab something." So while we're at his house, his uncle was in the back, mowing the lawn, right? And then my boy Andy was like, "Hey, come outside real quick." So we go outside. He goes, "Hey, do you want to smoke some weed?" And then I wasn't one of those ones that's like, nah, man, like I don't know. I was like, yeah, 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 because I already knew what was up. I already knew like my dad smoked, like everyone smoked weed around me. My turn wasn't up yet. So we get in the back, and this dude has the matchbooks, like the matches. He had
Yes.
that shit ripped off and rolled up, and the joint and the end of it. So he had the crutch, right?
Hmm.
So he's back there smoking and shit, and like we walk down the little stairs of the stoop out the back, and he's sitting there mowing, and he literally looks up and he goes, Andy, and just like that, goes, Andy. And fucking Andy takes it, starts hitting it and shit. He goes, here. And I just started hitting it. And that was the first time I ever smoked weed was with Andy Alvarez in his backyard.
Shout out
But
Andy Alvarez.
shout out Andy Alvarez. He lived in Oak Park. But the first time I ever got stoned and high was with the homie Frank Zamora. Frank Zamora whooped some dude's ass for me one time. Shout out Frank Zamora.
Tell me that
Um,
story too.
so when he whooped someone's ass for me,
Yeah.
oh, dude came out of left field and popped. Oh, bro, Frank Zamora. I can't remember the other cat's name, but anyway, um, so anyway, the first time I ever got like really stone was with Frank Zamora at the bus stop. Like, so instead of making a left to go to Andy's house, you just make the right and go up to the bus stop right there that led everyone back into East Dago. So we're at the bus stop and we start smoking and shit. And I was just like, because I was stealing cigarettes from my parents already, like, because I already knew how to smoke. So I get this fucking joint from him, and I start hitting it, and I start hitting it, and I start hitting it. Next thing you know, dude, my whole body just goes.
Fuck.
I swear, I was just sitting there like, oh shit. And then he's like, hey, let's go to my house instead. So we crossed the street to go up to La Mesa more. So we crossed the street to get on the 15 bus, and when we crossed the street, there was like this little island. And I remember, man, I was fucking just like slumping so hard. I tripped on it, scabbed my whole arm up and shit. Got up and sat at the bus stop. And they're like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." But I was sitting there just like
Damn.
stoned to the bone, bro.
Damn.
It was fun. It was so much fun. So I'm in detention. So this is the Frank Zamora punch. Hey, sorry, Frank. I don't mean to dime you out.
Fuck it,
so,
dude.
so I'm
It's
in
probably a
detention.
dope story anyway.
It is a dumb story. So I'm in
No,
detention.
dope.
Oh, so I'm in detention, right? And I forget the kid's name, but he was trying to bang on me on some shit, and I was like, whatever, man. So I stole his Easy E tape out of his backpack, right?
Ooh.
I stole his Easy, and it was the one where he was dissing Dre, right? So I stole that out of his backpack. At the time, I was dating this, or I was dating this girl in middle school, and so I take the dude's shit in detention. The next day, my girlfriend comes up to me. She goes, "Hey, did you take such and such a CD?" And I'm like, "Or tape?" And I'm like, "Nah, why?" She goes, "That's my cousin." And I was just like, "Nah." And I didn't say anything that he was banging on me. I didn't say shit. I
Mhm.
didn't say that you, because there was some words exchanged in the detention. Anyway, she's like, "Well, he wants his tape back, and he knows it was you because he said that everyone that was sitting around with him was with him." And I'm like, "And I don't give a fuck." So she says some shit to me. She goes, "Well, he wants to talk to you. He wants to see what's up with you and all this other shit." I'm like, "Well, whatever." So that was like right before lunch. At lunch, I tell Frank and these dudes, I'm like, "Hey, man, I fucking forget his name." I was like, "Hey, such and such, I think wants to fight me." And they're like, "Why?" Like, "Let's do it. Let's fight." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. I don't know why he wants to fight me, but I think he does." I didn't want to say that I jacked his tape yet, right? Because, hey, man, I just jacked his tape because he left his fucking backpack open. He was being a bitch, and I just snatched that shit. Literally, that's what happened. He was being a bitch. His boys tried to talk shit to me. I'm like, "All right, 4-on-1." And he turned around, and I still snatched his tape, fucker.
Damn.
So check this out. At the end of at the end of school, Frank and them already know that these dudes want to fight me, but they have detention now. These dudes
Oh.
are in detention down the hall. Me and my little girlfriend are talking. Now her cousin and them are walking up like, "Hey, bro, did you take my tape on this and that?" She literally runs off, just runs. So now there's like five dudes like, "Oh, this is when the fuck they? Oh, this is EDG or some shit like that." Da-da-da-da. Next thing you know, I just look to my left and you see Frank put down his fucking binder, pulled up his pants, tied his belt. The other dude like took off his jacket and Frank just ran up and said, "Bam!" And just knocked this dude
Damn.
clear the fuck down. And he hits this dude, turns around and hits another dude, looks at me and goes, "Let's do it." And then fucking like like we just fought. And I remember the dude that I like because the guy who started all the shit was already laying on the ground because Frank knocked his ass out. All I did was step over the dude and I just kind of punched one dude in his neck. I missed. I ain't gonna lie, because when I punched him in his neck, I looked up and I just seen other shit happen. I was like, "Man, I don't want to get hit. So let me hit this dude too." So when I punched him in the neck, this dude already backed off. He was running. Frank had already dropped two dudes and pushed another guy. The other guy that was with
Damn.
Frank grabbed one dude and was just grabbing him and pulling him down the stairs. I'll never forget. He was like, "Come on, bro. You ain't like," he's like, "Come on, come on, come on." And just pulling him down the stairs right there in front of Horseman. I was like, "Oh shit."
Damn.
But yeah, that was the dude I got stoned with. He had my back, bro. Hey,
Bad.
back then we had each other's backs, bro. Straight up. Like the homies, like if you were the homie and you had homies, we had each other's backs, you know?
Mm.
Like we fought for you. I fought a bunch of man in middle school. I fought a lot in middle school. Ivan Rodriguez, remember I beat your ass in the library?
Fuck. Calling his ass out, bro.
Dude tried to punch me. Like we're sitting in the library, right? And he was like, he was hanging off this dude's dick. His name was Bernardo. Like I'm fuck it. His name was Bernardo. Forget his last name. But this dude Ivan used to hang off this kid's dick hard, right? And like, I don't know, he was like super territorial, man, and like he just didn't like me. So one day I said something to him in the library, and so he stood over me and tried to punch over me. And he came down and he clipped my chin and my chest. Man, I just looked up at him and just gut checked him and punched him, grabbed him, stood up and grabbed his jacket, headbutted him, punched him in the mouth, and just Mr. Shriver came in and said, "Whoa, like, hey, stop."
Mr.
I got in a lot of
Shriver.
fights. I got in a lot of fights in middle school. Anyway,
Damn.
but yeah, that was the first time I ever got stoned. When was the first time you ever got stoned? Like stoned? Wait, sorry. When was the first time you ever smoked pot?
Smoke pot first time 2001, maybe 2002 before I turned 14. Wasn't really like one of those, oh, I'm stoned things, but it counted.
Yeah,
Um
always
first
does.
time First time I got stoned, when I was like 14, hanging out with my buddy at the time, Scott Sanchez, and we were hanging out in his bedroom. I remember, I forgot where we smoked, but he had a sneak a toke, and he went.
Like the lighter or the cigarette one?
No, it's a small pipe,
Oh, okay.
very small pipe where you could like pack it and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
hide that shit. Like it was made of like fucking I would say
Metal.
metal. Yeah, yeah. So I forgot where we smoked it, but we smoked it and we got real. I got really fucking stoned. It's really stoned, and it was summer 2002, heading into freshman year. And I remember we just ended up walking to my house because my front yard and backyard was where everyone went to go do backyard wrestling. In the middle of a fucking afternoon, when it was scorching hot, him and I were stoned, and we just decided to fucking have a wrestling match in my front yard. And I guarantee you, it was better than a lot of shit that goes on.
Shut the fuck.
Anyway, like got stoned. Did that for like a couple like hour because we were hoping people would other friends would show up, and no one did because it was like 2 in the fucking afternoon. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I remember we just ended up going to the mall after that, and just we're stoned and just fucking talking about music.
I forgot what place it was. Me and my best friend back in the day, we used to get on the bus and go down to the beach down in Pacific Beach, and there was this music spot down there. I forget the name of it, but you could go there and literally just take a CD and give it to them, and they would put it in and let you listen to the whole thing, and they didn't care how long you sat there either. Like you sit
Oh,
there and listen.
I forgot. Sorry to cut you off. Part of the story, we were in Scott's room too, right? Like I said, after we had gotten high, he put on War Pigs by Black Sabbath, and I was like, after my first hit, it was right when the sirens were playing. I was like, oh shit, cops are coming for us, bro. I was tripping out in the fucking sirens, and the song just kept going on and on. Like, dude, someone called the cops on us, dude. I think we should get the fuck out of here. And this
Fuck.
is in his room too. And he's like, joy. And then the song kicked in. And it's like, oh shit, War Pigs, sick. It was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sick.
yeah. But I don't think, but like, I got stoned, but I didn't get fucking stoned. But
You ever done shrooms?
yes, I did. And it really led to some, me saying certain things about wrestling people.
What is this recent?
No, 5 years
Oh,
ago,
uh,
me airing out some promoters fucking stupid acts that he did in
we'll stay
public.
away from mushrooms for you then, bro.
Yeah, no, actually, it was acid. I was on acid.
Mm.
Acid makes me really fucking truthful. Never done. I think I did shrooms. Yeah,
Are
I
you doing?
did shrooms
Are you
once.
doing acid every time we do a podcast then, or what?
No.
Oh no.
If I did acid, I'd be talking about how I wish I had a mom who bought me a wrestling school. But I'll stop there. If I was on acid, I'd be saying so much more. Um,
You want to hear a mushroom story real quick? You know
Voicing
what?
my
I'm
opinions
gonna I'm gonna
on San Diego law enforcement.
I'm gonna entertain you, motherfucker. I'm gonna entertain you in a minute after this.
Okay, go ahead.
So you mentioned you were stoned, listened to the song. So actually,
War pigs.
the first time I ever listened to the first Slim Shady album, me and my boy Justin were in his garage in Claremont, and
Claremont.
before we put it on, he's like, "Hey, you want to do these mushrooms?" And I'm like, because we knew Eminem did mushrooms and all that shit, like we already knew.
Mhm.
It's just that his album had just came out finally with all his songs. So I was like, fuck it. So we took these mushrooms and then like we started peaking hard. We sat there right in this fucking in his garage, listened to the Eminem album. Bro, I remember just like going through this whole story with him and just like, oh my God, he's like killed his wife. And then there's be all
Oh
funny
man.
and shit. And then it's like, oh shit. That night I went home and mom, I hate you, but I would like one day I'll interview your fucking dumbass and just be like, why are you such a cunt?
Oh my god,
Fuck
dude.
my mom. Anyway, But my mom is the one who walked in, and like the 1940s, the 1950s gangsters where they're like, hey, see, those
With
kind
the
of guys.
Tommy guns and the
Yeah,
long
yeah.
overcoats and shit and that stupid hats.
So I can draw. So I was drawing these fucking little like gangster characters I had a whole conversation with them, talking to them and all shit. My mom walks in, she goes, "What are you doing?" She looks down, she goes, "You should sell that." I fucking crumbled it up and threw it away and shit. I was like, no, no. That was my Eminem mushroom story. I went home and drew little gangsters.
Damn. Your
Andrew
mom gave you
Pesina.
words of encouragement and you flipped out.